Folks, what's up? Good to see everybody here. I know we've got Grateful Dude already checking everything out. He's already here having a good time. We'll see, he's been here for a couple hours, so I imagine he's actually not sitting there just waiting for that long. But if he is, that's fantastic. We got Nate hopping in right here, right on time. One of the channel members. Always good to see the channel members. Nate, it's so good to see you. As you guys can tell, I am solo today. Unfortunately, Pick'em is stuck traveling home from work and is not going to be able to make it. He had to work late. Him and I both work in the trade, so it makes sense. So it's just me tonight, at least for now. I sent him a link just in case he gets home. But either way, I had to do this one early because I'm on Couch Warrior show later for the panel. I guess I co-host the show, but either way. Before we jump into everything, I have to give a shout out to the fantastic sponsor of this live stream here. And that stream is brought to you by CloudBet. Yeah, you can watch this whole world tournament, this whole championship series, all those things on CloudBet. And you can use the promo code 13MMA if you're placing any action on the fights. Something that's really cool about CloudBet. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm going a little off script here because I want you guys to know that the coolest part about them for the PFL specifically is you can watch it right there on the PFL, or I mean on the CloudBet screen. You can watch PFL right there. So while you're playing, you're live betting, it's literally right on one side of the screen. You have the actual show itself, and then you have the live bet option right there. Same screen, same page, everything. So that's cool. So if you're a PFL guy, PFL gal, whatever you are, if you're interested in the PFL and live betting the PFL, CloudBet's the way to go. You can use my affiliate link. That helps me a lot. I do appreciate it. It's in the chat. It's in the description. It's going across screen. All those things. Use promo code 13MMA. And that's how you get this sick welcome package that they offer. So that is a little off script, but it is the absolute fact. I might have to shut the curtains here in a minute. We'll see what the sun's about to do. But let's talk about this card a little, shall we? It's a good card, honestly. It's a like PFL really didn't slack off on putting the card together. And surprisingly, we've only had 3 fights canceled. Only one of I guess 2 of them didn't get replacements, but realistically, that's fine. I'm looking over. I don't think anybody missed weight unless I'm tripping, but I don't think anybody did. Because the Loughran and Cartwright fight was at a catch weight ahead of time, right? I think either that or somebody messed up, and that's why that's I don't know. I'm not sure. It's it's showing 140 catch weight on Tapology and everything, so I assume that was okay. So let's talk about that stuff here. Actually, let's catch up with the chat first. Let's see. I think they may have Rob Nurmagomedov versus Pettis like they robbed Stotts. Dude, that was crazy when Stotts lost that fight. I thought Stotts was going to win for sure, but it happens. Brother, you just missed it. You're late to the party. I was telling you, Pick'em stuck at work. I had to do this stream a little bit early because I'm going to be on the panel later with Couch Warrior and the crew. So I had to do this one at this time. I know we did the last week's at this time, but Pick'em couldn't make it at this time. There's a lot of times in that sentence. But unfortunately, he's out here. I sent him a link in case he can jump in towards the end. I'm kind of taking my sweet time so that way he gets that opportunity. Maybe he'll jump in at least for the parlays at the end. We'll see. But yeah, unfortunately, he's not here right now, but he might jump in. Otherwise, you just got me, which is, of course, not as good as both of us, and that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So there we go. Yeah, seriously, that's there you go. You might as well. We got some good stuff to talk about though. Let's go ahead and let's start off slow, right? We're gonna start it off easy. We've got. I'm gonna make sure I get this right. We got Jarrah also Solawi Cheapers. I'm already screwing them up. Al-Sawali taking on Gregory Babane. This is a fun one, right? Like this fight is actually like an interesting fight, and there's some stuff to mention here. Both of these guys are finishers. For Al-Sawali, dude's got 13 of his 20 wins by stoppage. For Babane, dude's got 20 of his 23 wins by stoppage. So like history says that these guys are probably going to get a finish. I mean, that stands to reason. Am I right? I mean, especially for Babane, dude's got 20 out of 23. That's pretty good. He's been on a run too. Dude's got 8 of his last 9 fights. Dude's won. His only loss in that stretch is to the current champ in Van Steenis. So I mean, there's a lot to like for Babane. There's a lot to like for Al-Sawali. I mean, dude's two of his last 3. My goodness, tongue tied. So I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff to like. For me, I think Babane gets it done, which is weird. Like, it's hard for me to like. It's hard to wrap my head around because like the dude's like in his 40s and he just doesn't look like it. The dude's just doing well. Like he's doing great. Doing great. Like literally his only loss in his last 9 fights is to the current champion, which is impressive. So the dude's still getting it done. I've been cashing on this dude like as an underdog back in like his Bellator time even. So I think he's solid. I don't think he's missed a step here. Also, Wally's no joke either. So like I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. But I'm gonna take Babane. I think he's the favorite right now, actually. Let's pull it up. Let's look. Let's look at the odds. I think he's a favorite right now. He is, my goodness, it's taking forever to load. Come on now. Here we go. All right, we're at it. Minus 108. So technically, I guess Babane's the underdog, but only slightly. Still get minus money. So, but yeah, so for that, yeah, I think he's the side. As crazy as that may seem, but yeah, I'm not like staking a claim on that or anything. I'm not saying that's my most confident pick or nothing, but either way. Also, don't worry, we're still gonna put together a parlay at the end, even if it's just me. I'm gonna do my best. Let's see, we got Hammy Sammy here, solo PFL breakdown this week. Thanks. Yeah, I got the panel tonight, so have to do that, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So got to do this early. We did this last week for this time, but him and I both have similar jobs. So we're both like doing manual labor and stuff. The work schedule doesn't always work out. So he's on his way home from work. Traffic up there in Toronto is pretty wild, apparently. So he might not be able to make it. I sent him a link just in case he can make it. But let's see. We got a minute. Oh, there you go, Barry. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping into the chat. I appreciate it. Nate's got the same kind of thought process as me with the round 1 KO. I think it's his best. I mean, I think that's his path, and I think that's probably what he does. So yeah, I'm with it, Nate. Let's go. Shout out to the channel members. Also, channel members, you guys are in for a treat. Just gonna drop this here, plug my own stuff since I'm flying solo. Channel members, I've got 4 of the week 9 Dana White Contender Series breakdowns already up. I'm gonna upload the 5th because they announced that like yesterday. I did the study as much as you could for the new replacement there. And I recorded it already. So I'm going to upload that right after I'm done with this before I do the panel show tonight. So you'll have all 5 of week 9's Contender Series breakdowns up. I'll have 2 of week 10's already up, assuming I can make some thumbnails quick. And I've already got the UFC Rio card uploaded because I got to get ahead of some stuff because I'll be out of town coming up in a couple of weeks. So I got to get way ahead of some stuff so that way I can do that. So hopefully the Rio card doesn't fall apart and we don't get any cancellations because all that is up for channel members. For the regular viewers that are not channel members, you'll get it when it's normal, like the normal time it comes out. But yeah, for the channel members, you get it early. Yeah, brother. Dude, I tried. There was one week where I was cutting it real close, but I do try for most of them. There's just been a couple of weeks where we've had every fight fall out. But back to PFL, because that's what we're here to talk about today, guys. We have Makasharip Zainakov, and he's taking on John Mitchell. Man, good thing I didn't screw up John Mitchell. That would have been a rough name to screw up for me here. This is a fun fight, but I feel like it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go by my estimations. I'm not totally counting out John Mitchell. He's not too bad, honestly. He's got a handful of wins recently, whatever, but I just feel like Zainakov's got this one. I feel like his style is a nightmare matchup for a guy like John Mitchell. I think he's probably going to win a decision. I don't think that's crazy to think. I think he gets a decision, 99 times out of 100 when they run this fight. And there's a chance that he maybe gets him out of there once in there, or maybe he loses a fight, out of the 100. But I feel like the vast majority of the time we're getting Zainakov decision. Like that's the play, right? But do we have an over under? Yeah. So over 2.5 rounds is minus 175, which I like that even. Well, do I like that more? For the price, I like that more than the money line because you got Zanikov at -283, and I suck at over-unders. But if there's one thing that history can tell you is that Zanikov is looking for decisions these days, right? Let's see. In his last 3 fights, he's gone to decision. He does have a win via injury prior to that, but like realistically, an injury finish is kind of a freak thing. Before the injury finish, his win before that, decision. He did lose a fight where he got finished, but decision. You have to go clear back to 2019 for him to win a fight that isn't via decision or injury. So, I mean, history is telling me that Zanikov is going to get this done by decision, and if they're giving us a pretty decent price on that over, yeah, give me the over. Over 2.5 at -175. Cloudbet's got you good right there. I'm taking it. So, yeah, I'm with you, Nate. Great one there. Unfortunately, StreamYard does not have the auto-translate thing. Buenas is good. So I got that much. Don't know the picks. I know picks. That's the word picks. I don't know the rest of the translation. But Jorge, you are a channel member, so I do appreciate you. I wish that StreamYard gave me the auto-translate button, but it does not, like the YouTube ones do. But I have to use StreamYard for this or it doesn't come through right. So somebody wants to translate, that'd be fantastic. Either way, we're moving right along. That pick was pretty straightforward. I don't have a whole lot to say about that one, other than probably decision. Next one. Takashi Izumi takes on Vinicius Sensi. Sensi's a weird fighter in the fact that, like, dude has beaten up a bunch of like nobodies early in his career and then went on to the Contender Series and lost to Sam Patterson, obviously, but he did okay in that fight realistically. And he's looked pretty good since, like, which I didn't expect. So that's surprising. He's a finisher. 8 of his 9 wins are via stoppage. I believe 7 of those are submissions. Yeah, 7 are submissions. There you go. So, like, the dude's looking for subs. Obviously, that is his thing. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. But he's got some power in the hands. It's not like he doesn't crack. So there's that. When I look at some of the stuff that he kind of brings to the table, it's a lot of submissions. Rear naked chokes, got quite a few of those. A couple of guillotines, triangle. Just scrolling through the record for that. But yeah, like, he's got an arsenal of submissions, pretty much chokes. But yeah, so there's a lot to like there. On the other side, I mean, wrestled pretty well, got a gold in Greco-Roman in 2017. So, I mean, at the championships there. So that's kind of good. I mean, it was just like the Asian championships, not like the Olympics, but, like, you know what I mean? That's still pretty impressive. So dude can wrestle, does pretty good job at, like, controlling folks, but he's Greco. So you got to, like, you know, like a Greco or the Greco-Roman wrestling does not translate quite as well as, like, freestyle or folk style might, because it's a lot more upper body stuff. And, like, sure, it's still good and still applicable, but you don't have a ton of lower body takedowns. In fact, you don't have any lower body takedowns in Greco-Roman. So there's that. When he wins, it tends to be by decision. In fact, I think that's his only wins. Yeah, 6 wins by decision. So yeah, realistically here, I feel like Sensi's got to be the side, and I don't think that's. I feel like Sensi wins at, like, a super high clip. Am I right? But he's only -209. But, like, I feel like he wins at a super high clip. Am I? Why that doesn't, like, the line doesn't make sense to me, right? Because yeah, I mean, I maybe it's because of the win over Spike Carlisle, maybe, but, like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I really feel like that's. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why the line's as close. I feel like Sensi probably wins this fight pretty regularly, but the line does not tell me that. And then it's like the over-unders. You can't really look at that either because, like, if Izumi wins, he probably wins a decision, which they're like -111, -110. So it's like they're right on par there. But if Sensi wins, it's probably under. Then again, I guess you could play if you're liking the Sensi side, you could play the under at minus 110 and get yourself a little value on that, considering the dude finishes pretty much every fight he's won, all of them except for one. But you might as well play the money line if you're on the other side. I'm thinking out loud here, guys. I'm thinking out loud. But yeah. Nate's between Sensi early sub or decision. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sensi gets a sub. And if he doesn't get a sub, he probably loses a decision. Right? Probably loses a decision, right? So yeah. New channel member, Grateful Dude. There we go. My pitch must have worked for you, brother. That's good. I love to hear it. Thank you so much. It's only $2.99. I didn't even tell you guys the price. It's cheap, $2.99. Plus whatever, if there's any like taxes or anything like that, I don't know. But my price that I said is $2.99, and that's per month, and you get all that stuff early. So even if you only sign up as a channel member during the Contender Series, it's worth $2.99 if you want those breakdowns like way ahead of time, so you can be ready to jump on lines. But you know what? Maybe you don't think my opinion makes any sense. That's okay too. Let me drop another link down there in case you want to hit that cloud bet, which you probably should if you're looking to live bet on this PFL card. Northwest in the house. Salute. What's up? Good to see you. What do I think is method of victory? Yeah, definitely sub. Definitely sub. I just don't know why. I don't know why the line's as close as it is, but I think it's the Spike Carlisle win, and that's what's doing it. So foot sleeps and yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't transfer as well to MMA. Like it's not like it's useless in MMA, but it sure doesn't transfer as well as things like, you know, your traditional like freestyle and folk style wrestling. I think folk style actually translates the best as far as like your traditional wrestling style, you know, types, right? So for me, folk style is probably the best. Freestyle takes out of some of the stuff that folk style does well. But for anybody that's not of the US, the folk style is kind of what we do in like high school here, whereas like freestyle is more like what you see in like the Olympics. So they're a little different, not massively different, but a little bit different. But anyway, we don't need to talk about wrestling. We need to talk about fights. Am I right? But yeah, so Sensi's aside for me. I'm gonna probably butcher this name, but Duan Sardinia. It's probably butchered that. I don't know how to say his name. Sardinia is what I'm going to go with. Okay. And he's taking on Miravzal Akhtamov. So interesting fight. Another one. Let's see. Let's pull up the odds first before we jump into it. Let's see. Akhtamov is the underdog at plus 130. Sardinia is minus 159. And for me, I kind of went back and forth on this one. You know, Akhtamov is the type of guy that comes out, wins early, right? And if he doesn't get you out of there early, a lot of times it could get dicey, you know? It could get dicey for him. So let's see. For Akhtamov, 7 of his 8 wins, finished them. I mean, 6 of his last 7 fights. Obviously, he is coming off that loss recently. Let's see, when was that? Last June. So not that long ago. But yeah, so I mean, like, he's coming off a loss. But you know, everybody loses every now and then. Still got a pretty darn good record at 8-1. No harm, no foul there. 9-1 on the other side, obviously for Sardinia. The thing that is interesting to me is I feel like the longer this fight goes on, the more it favors Luan. Now, I could be just overestimating that a little bit, right? I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, am I putting too much stock into like a narrative? So I could be. But I think the longer it goes on, the better he does. And with that said, it's kind of like Akhtamov probably wins early, or Sardinia wins anything after that, right? What do we got on the over-under here? This is a particularly tricky one. Again, man, the over-under is just right on. Ooh, this one's probably going to be a stay away for me, but I think I'm leaning the Sardinia side. Ooh, probably by decision after losing the first round. But gosh, does that sound like a rough one? That's a pass. I'm staying so far away from this one that yeah, that's just no doubt. Yeah, sounds like Nate and I are on the exact same page. Short notice, scary. You lean him by decision. Yeah, it's a stay away. Henny Sammy mentioning that the style of wrestler matters too. Yeah, same way that being like a guard playing jiu-jitsu player doesn't translate to MMA as well as top player. So that's actually interesting you mentioned that, because actually one of the fights that I broke down for week number 10 of the Contender Series, it'll be uploaded hopefully tonight, otherwise tomorrow morning. That's a thing that I was talking about in there, is like guys that are like willing to pull guard, even if they're, and like not knowing how to quantify their grappling in an MMA sense. It's because like they could be actually a good grappler, but pulling guard in MMA is just a silly idea, usually, unless you really have something locked in. But even then, I don't recommend it in most cases. So, but yeah, so for me, Sardinia is the pick, I guess, by decision. But my goodness, is this one the biggest stay away so far? Let's see. We've got next Omar El Dafraoui, and he's taking on, I'm going to probably mess up the last name here, but I'm going to do my best, Florim Zendeli. I think it's how you say Zendeli, but, forgive me if not. Let's pull up the odds. I'm going to go ahead and talk about those for another close fight. Dafraoui is minus 149. Zendeli is plus 122. And, okay, yeah, interesting. We've got a guy who has done gosh darn good at getting some KOs in the past, coming off of a win via submission, which is impressive, in Dafraoui. And Zendeli is the type of guy who's done pretty well thus far in PFL. I mean, I think he's 3-0, got some good wins. The win most recently over Miseli or whatever, but beat Jack Grant in there in the split decision. Real close fight. Yeah. This is another tricky one. And so I was looking at this one earlier today. I decided to take another another thought on it, because I wasn't sure how I felt about it with the odds being close. It's one that I thought maybe could get some action, but I don't know that it will. We'll see. Because the over, it's 1.5. Over 1.5 rounds is plus 102. Yeah, could it go over 1.5? Yeah, absolutely, it could. So that could be interesting for me. But it also could go under. These guys both have a lot of first round finishes, but yeah, it's a good fight. The under 1.5 is minus 120. I'll probably stay away from the over under. The 1.5 is still on my way. I'm gonna take Dafraoui to get it done. I think he can snipe him on the feet, but the problem is I could also see some problems if this fight ends up being a lot of wrestling exchanges. Because to me, Zendeli seems like he's probably going to be the better wrestler. I feel like he's going to pressure forward, try to push this up against the cage, get the grappling going, get up in his face. But I feel like Dafraoui is going to be landing the big shots on the way in. So I'm going to take Dafraoui and feel like he probably gets a knockout, and I don't know when. Nate here is leaning round 1. I'm going to say round 2. But am I going to say round 2? Maybe round 3? I'm going to say round 2 or 3. I think it gets a little later, but I could be just out of I'm so bad at picking rounds and props and stuff. I'm better at just picking who I think is going to win. So we're gonna run with that. We're gonna take Dafraoui and another one that I'm like, it's okay. Okay, this fight, I do have a strong opinion here. Okay, so we have Puya Ramani, and he's taking on Slim Trabelsi. Here's the deal, guys. Okay, so Ramani is a super good grappler, right? Legit grappler. He's already beaten him in a grappling match, as Nate is saying. Yes, he beat him in a grappling match. I'm going to leave that on the screen for a while, actually. Yeah, so he's already got the win over him in grappling. The dude is legit. Won Worlds in, 2025? I mean, he's got gosh darn good submissions. The dude the dude knows how to get it done. He does a lot of like those safer submissions too. Like you see things like arm triangles, rear naked chokes, etc. Those are the things that are solid for him. National wrestling champion over in Iran. Like dude's like good grappler. However, this is not a wrestling match, and that makes it different, right? It's a little bit different because you gotta look at it a little bit like. I do think that the grappling win does give like a mental edge to Romani. But let's pull up the odds. And this is what's giving me pause because Slim's plus 247. You can get him a little bit better a couple places, but plus 247. Man, both guys are undefeated, right? And regardless of how you feel about that, I feel like Slim got away with one a while back, but we'll still 8-0 versus 4-0. Slim's definitely got the better wins in MMA. The grappling credentials. I mean, it's not like Slim's a bad grappler either. Like let's look at some of like Slim's grappling credentials, right? I mean, let's see. He competed, 2-time gold medalist in the African Championships, which is probably not as impressive as the Iranian Championships, but won gold in 2015 in the African Games. Still, again, not as impressive as winning gold, winning the Abu Dhabi World Championships. I get it, but still, it's not like he can't wrestle. He's a wrestler, so that's so tough. And like he's got good wins. Slim's got good wins. And you give me as a big underdog. Yeah. And I get what Hammy's saying here, where it's a bad matchup for Slim. And I'm pretty sure Slim is going to be way slimmer, which is funny to say, actually. Let's see what they weigh in at. Yeah, Slim weighed in at 233. Whereas Romani weighed in at 256. So Slim's going to be smaller. But, I know this one's getting me back and forth because I was locked in before going into this. I was like, I'm taking Slim, right? But, I'm questioning it because the size. I'm questioning it for a few other things. But, Slim's an MMA. So, here's where my thought is. Because, I know a lot of guys that go to the jiu-jitsu academy that I go with that would absolutely – they'd steamroll me on the mat, right? They'd whoop the crap out of me. It's jiu-jitsu. And that's what these guys basically grappled in before, right? It was a jiu-jitsu contest. And, I like my chances against them in a fight. I don't like my chances whatsoever against them in a jiu-jitsu match. They are much better jiu-jitsu players than me. But once you start having strikes in, it changes things because you no longer can do the stuff you did before. Now, Romani isn't the type to play jiu-jitsu in a way that's he especially when translated MMA, he's doing the right things to translate his jiu-jitsu to MMA. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, there are strikes now. I think at the odds, I got to take Slim. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Slim, and I might seem stupid for it, but I'm going to take Slim to get it done. And it's close, right? It could be close. And at those odds, I'll take him. Nate says Slim was very competitive with Babley. Yeah, I mean, he won that fight, although that was a really close fight. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take Slim. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm probably not going to get every pick right on this card. So for anybody that needs to know that now, I'm probably not going to get every pick right on this card. But I'll take Slim. And I remember last week, me and Pick'em were talking, and there was a lot of them he was really confident in. I was like, whoa, slow your roll there, brother. And then the ones that messed us up on our parlay last week were the ones that I said, whoa, slow it down. Not that we had a lot of options last week for the parlay, so we kind of still had to throw somebody in there. But at the same time, sometimes you just got to take a step back. This is one where I think Slim's very live, and I think he can get it done. So I'm going to take Slim. I keep calling him Slim, and then it just, makes me want to say that I wrote him, but he still ain't calling. I don't know. That was a dated reference. I'm getting old. Anyway, let's move on. We have Jack Cartwright versus Kalen Loughran. His last name always throws me off because it doesn't look like it should be Loughran, but it is. But either way, I got another hot take here, I'm sure. So let's look at the odds first, okay? We got Loughran is minus 362. You're looking at plus 276 on the Cartwright side. Yeah, that seems a bit off, okay? I'm going to drop the link one more time as well. Seriously, guys, if you want to watch the fights and bet live, that's the place to. You can pre-flop too. I will say also, CloudBet always has the best submission props out of everybody. So there you go. Oh, there you go. Nate got the stand reference. Let's go. That's from like the year 2000 or something like that. But anyway, so we got Jack Cartwright and Colin Loughran. People are going to point to Loughran being a former UFC guy, 2-2 in the UFC. There's an argument he lost all four of his UFC fights, but at least three. The Pacheco fight, like a lot of people scored it for him. I thought it was close. I thought it was more competitive than the judges saw it as. But with that said, there's a big argument that Loughran definitely lost his last fight. In fact, I feel very confident he lost that fight against Fletcher. So here he is as a massive favorite over a guy in Jack Cartwright who isn't bad. Jack Cartwright's good. Like, he's not like top tier, but he's darn good. He's only got 2 losses in the career. Lost in the Contender Series, so that's kind of where people are coming from. But he's bounced back with some wins over some credible guys. Lots of finishes. 9 out of his 12 wins are finishes for Cartwright. I don't know that he's going to finish Loughran if he beats him, especially because a lot of his wins are submissions, and like, you know, it's hard to finish a guy like Loughran. He's a tough dude, strong, thick neck. But that said, it wasn't that long ago that Cartwright hit that sick arm lock from the scarfold position, which is something that I really like. That's a move I go to like on the daily. Whenever I hit jiu-jitsu class anyway. And I love to see it. That's something you could hit on him. But yeah, it's tough because I'm also just like a Colin Loughran hater. So I could just be super biased here, but I think I'm going to take the underdog in Cartwright. I want to lean over, which is wild considering I think Cartwright's a finisher, but yet I also lean over. Yeah, so I think I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to go with Cartwright. But Cartwright's a big underdog. And what do you get with Cartwright by decision? Plus 602. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. So I'm going to take Jack Cartwright to get it done, mostly because I'm a Colin Loughran hater, and also I think Cartwright's pretty good. One thing that might be interesting here. So I do think Loughran's going to be able to like come forward a lot, but he just gets hit in that big old noggin of his. He doesn't really do much offensively. I do think he can top time Cartwright if he needs to, but I think Cartwright also is going to be. I think this could be like a performance for Cartwright similar to kind of how the Hadley performance went with Loughran. So for me, that kind of makes me think Cartwright gets it done. Nate agrees that Fletcher decision was botched. So yeah. I took Sensi in that one, chosen one. Hey, glad you made it, by the way. I took Sensi in that one, and I feel like he probably gets a submission, but you know, who knows? He could totally lose that, but I think he gets it done. Yeah, I might be. He's horrible. I don't know about that. Like, dudes look pretty good as of late. So I don't know if horrible is the right word, but yeah, he could lose. It's but I think he wins. I think he gets a submission. For Hammy Sammy, nothing about Cartwright, but Loughran doesn't justify the price versus anyone. Yeah, seriously, I'm with you there. That's why I went Cartwright. And like the way I think about it, there's a few underdogs on this card that are like big underdogs that I'm like, okay, I don't have to hit all of these. In fact, I've got to hit like one of these. So yeah, so I'm gonna take a couple of these underdogs, and we're gonna hit one. You seem very confident. This must be somebody that you're a big fan of, or you know personally, or something like that, which is totally cool. And if that's the case, then I'm not gonna poop on your party. So, you know what? If you're right and you get it right, then more power to you. I've been wrong plenty of times. I will be wrong again. In fact, I'm not going to get every pick right on this card, and I don't plan to. But you know what? Good for you. Support you, supporting your guys. That's something that happens a lot in this space is people argue about who's going to win, but like we literally just going to figure it out tomorrow for this card. So it's like there's no point in arguing it. This is what I saw. This is how like my opinion on it. And if you disagree, then that's cool. We can disagree. That's fine. There's just like you could give people a thought, and then they can say, "Oh wow, I didn't see that. Maybe I, should relook at this, and I can change my opinion from it." But like when people it bothers me the most with the comments on my videos that don't provide any context. Now, the chosen one here is providing context. This I like by saying the sub chance, but he's going to get overpowered by the wrestler. Great. I like that. You're giving some reasoning behind it. I don't like when people speak in absolutes. You kind of did that a little bit there, but that's okay. I forgive you. We're all human. Because it's a fight, and like there's no such thing as there's very few things that are a lock. Sometimes there's just a blatant mismatch. You see it more outside of the UFC. You see this in a lot of really low level cards, like at your local spot down the road type of thing. I was just at a show with my wife not that long ago, and when somebody comes out that says they're training independently and they're fighting a guy from the best gym in town, that means the independent person is training out of their freaking garage and they've never actually trained anywhere legitimate, and they're fighting somebody who's actually good. That's pretty much a lock, short of a freak injury. That said, in MMA, like short of those type of situations, especially as you get higher up, there's not a lot of locks, right? There's a lot, you can feel confident about something, but there's no guarantees. So providing context and that like back and forth discourse, some nuances, those are all really nice things that I think are sorely lacking in the MMA space, especially when it comes to predictions. I'm never going to tell you that I'm absolutely correct and there's no way I get it wrong. So anyway, point is, chosen one. I hope if that is your friend that he does very well and he wins the fight for you. More power to you. Nothing against it. Boxing as well. To what part? I didn't see where you were saying that too. I apologize, Sammy. But yeah, point being, sometimes that's just the way it is. People often are very confident in their opinion, and then they want to argue with you about it, and it doesn't really get anybody anywhere. So, but yeah, that's what we got. This is a biased pick for me. So we're going to talk about this one next. We've got Archie Colgan taking on JJ Wilson. This is a biased one for me because I don't think that this is a surprise to anybody that Archie Colgan is my favorite PFL fighter. He was my favorite Bellator fighter for a long time. Like, I'm a big Archie Colgan fan. So I think it goes without saying that I'm going to be picking Archie Colgan. So there we go. I will say Colgan at minus 362 is, not 362, minus 289. Sorry, I read the wrong line. Minus 289 is, it's steep, but I don't think it's that bad of a price. It is steep. I think the reason Colgan's this big of a favorite, one second, I move this cat off the table. It's messing with my microphone. I think the reason that Colgan is this big of a favorite is because people are seeing Colgan as a guy that's potentially going to be the top time, and JJ Wilson's going to be willing to work off of his back. Of course, the cat jumps right back up on the table. One moment. Stop it. Anyway, I'm taking Colgan to be able to top time him if need be. I think on the feet, it can be competitive. I think in the grappling, it can be competitive, but I think Colgan is going to be the guy on top when these exchanges are happening. Now, what do we got for an over? Because I think that's also a pretty decent spot. Over 2.5 is minus 164. I like that as well. I think it's decently likely that it goes over 2.5 rounds. I do know that for the PFL, the good folks over at CloudBet, of course, are offering like who's going to get the first takedown, first knockdown, all this, that, and the other for these PFL cards, these PFL fights. For me, I think that Colgan getting the first takedown is a pretty fair statement. Parlay that up with something. Maybe parlay that up with his money line to get you a little bit better price. But yeah, for me, I think it's Colgan. I think he wins by top timing him. Yep, exactly what I think, Nate. Colgan probably decision here. But yeah, let's see. Hammy Sammy says he loves Wilson, but Colgan may be the most under promoted fighter in the sport right now. He's absolutely world class. I agree 100%, dude. He's so good. He is absolutely the man. But also, I could understand why some people might feel that way because, his last few fights have come to decision, this, that, and the other. But the dude's so skilled, and he's getting it done. And he's beaten guys that are way, way better than people know. Like, I mean, that win over Manuel Souza, that dude just got in the UFC. So good win there. Beats Mansour Barnaoui, who is a really, really accomplished grappler. Fantastic. I think there was, I don't know if it's probably not still the case, but there was an old interview from Islam Makhachev that said that Mansour Barnaoui was his toughest fight. And this was quite a while ago. So like he's since fought Volkanovski and stuff like that. But, and the first one was really close, but either way, Barnaoui's like no slouch, dude. Like the guy's good. So for Colgan to be able to win those fights and come out on top, that's impressive. And like, don't get me wrong, JJ Wilson's got some darn good wins too. He's also beaten Barnaoui. That weird win over Tokov where he like won it from his back was wild. Beat Mads Burnell. Mads Burnell's a darn good fighter. So both of these guys are good. I think that Colgan's able to top time him if he needs to. And I think outside of that, he can win other spots. But top timing him is an option whenever he needs to go to that, which is why I'm taking him. Let's go back to what Hammy Sammy was saying about the variables. Too many variables in MMA for there to be absolute. Yeah, exactly. Minus 5,000 favorites regularly in boxing, but never in MMA. Exactly. In boxing, you can get way more locks because there's not like you're just hitting with your hands, right? There's no elbows, knees, grappling. There's no. It's so like, okay, this guy's probably going to win like 100 times out of 100, but you get way less of that when you're looking at MMA. That's absolutely correct. So because the sport has so many different options, you see a lot more of that. I'm with you there, Sammy. Let's move on. I've jabbed a lot. So Nurmagomedov and Sergio Pettis, another fight that I think is darn good, and I think it's kind of under the radar a little bit. This is close. This is a close fight, and this might be another one where like I haven't gotten there yet, but like I'm looking at the Sergio Pettis line at plus 196, and I'm like, I don't know if he should be that big of an underdog here. I feel like it might go over, but I could also see Pettis just hitting some crazy thing and knocking him out. I don't think I could. It's possible Magomedov gets a sub, but I feel like probably not. I feel like if Magomedov wins, it's probably a decision. And I feel like if Pettis wins, it's also probably a decision unless he does some crazy stuff like he did in the Haraguchi fight where he did the spinning back elbow or spinning back fist or whatever, and knocked him out. But yeah, like, it's one of those where I'm kind of thinking Magomedov probably should be the favorite, but I think the line's a bit wide, and I'm probably gonna go for Pettis, even though, like Nate's saying, let's see. Oh, that's true. They do love Sergio. That's a good thought because I was thinking because this is in like Abu Dhabi or whatever that Magomedov would get the rub, being like not necessarily the local guy, but. Oh, it was in Dubai. That's right. Abu Dhabi was the last Hughes and Nurmagomedov fight. So, but yeah, so Dubai. Okay, interesting. But yeah, I mean, same premise. I think, yeah, I wonder if the PFL judge is still loving Sergio is gonna play into a factor here. I'm gonna take Sergio as a big underdog again, just because I feel like the line's a bit wide, and it seems like money's still coming in on Magomedov. I'm on too many underdogs. I'm not going to hit them all. I promise you guys I'm not going to hit them all. But we're going to take them. We're going to take Sergio to get the win, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to drop that link another time. I know you guys probably have already seen it, but that's okay. I'm going to keep dropping it. Just make sure you guys can grab it in case you want to sign up for that. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one here. Oh, actually, real quick, I'm going to respond to Hammy. Hammy says, Stott should be in jail for not grappling Pettis. Yeah, trust Magomedov to go for it and think he can impose his will on top. Natural flyweight and Pettis. Yeah, I agree with the statement that he's a natural flyweight, and I do think he can do well on top. Same time, fight's gonna start on the feet, and I think Pettis is dangerous on the feet. Magomedov's pretty good on the feet too, not as good as Pettis. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna say Pettis can do what he needs to do on the feet, and I think he's a good enough grappler that he can survive. But man, I could be way wrong. Like I said, I'm only gonna get like one of these underdogs right. Let's look at our next one here. Yes, Corey Anderson versus Davlet Yagshimuradov. Really, really interesting fight. Really, really interesting fight. Now, I believe if we go back to the year of 2021, there it is. These two fought once before, and Corey Anderson got the win. Fights don't always go the same in the rematches. That's obvious. But I mean, it's nice to be able to say you have a win over the other guy. It does sure help out. Let's see. Corey Anderson's been on a tear lately. He cashed for us as an underdog in his last fight. Dogwood's been on a tear lately. I mean, yeah, I don't. This is hard this is a tough one to pick, but like I gotta back Anderson. I got to do it. I think Corey Anderson gets it done again. I think he's going to get on top and ground and pound him. And whether he gets a finish or we get a decision is yet to be seen. But I think he gets on top and I think he pounds him out. I'm going to say it goes to decision this time. Well, because it's 5 rounds. Do I think he really sells out for the finish? No. I think over 5 rounds, he's going to pace himself a little bit. And I think he's going to get a decision. We're going to go Corey Anderson decision over 5 rounds, and I think he top times him for most of it. We're getting a lot of that this card. I think a lot of top timing is going to be happening on this card. Yeah, Nate, sounds like we agree like spot on with that. Yes, exactly that. See, this is why I like it when you show up in the chat, man. You're just backing up everything I'm saying. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, let's see. What do we got on the line? So the line for Corey Anderson's only -189. That ain't bad. That ain't a bad spot. What's the over looking like? Over 3.5 rounds is what they've got it set at. And you can get that at +119. That ain't bad either. You get that at plus money. That's like play. I might play that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I hate playing over-unders because I've been so bad at them this year. Concerns? Nah, not at all. Honestly, I think he just had the matchup at heavyweight and took it because he hasn't been getting fights. I think he's a natural light heavyweight. So, yeah, no concern there really whatsoever. I mean, he's the much bigger guy here, but I don't think it's a problem. What were the weigh-in results, I guess? I assume it was just fine. I assume they both made weight, no problem. Yeah, Anderson 204.6, 205 for Yagshimuradov. Yeah, I think Corey Anderson will be just fine. I think he'll be just fine. Dude's been cutting weight. He's his whole life. He's a wrestler. You know, he knows what to do. So yeah, for me, I don't think that's a problem. The only thing I think that could go in favor of Yagshimuradov is just dude can hit really hard. I mean, he always got like 14 KOs in his career. I think Corey Anderson's hard to get to. I think he gets a decision. So we're gonna take Corey Anderson. We are flying. I guess we're not flying through these. It's 47 minutes. I'm talking for myself and Pick'em. Don't worry. So it's all good. I just got a message from Pick'em. He says he's probably not gonna be able to make it today. Unfortunately, that's okay. We're almost done. So it'd be kind of a bummer if he just jumped in right now and had to start fresh. But that's okay. We're gonna go to the main event. Yes, main event. Here we go. The rematch of the century. Am I right? We have Usman Nurmagomedov, and he's taking on Paul Hughes. This is a good fight. And for those of you who jumped in on it, that's impressive. The giveaway. I don't know. I think they're going to announce the winner probably after the card, no, they had to announce the winner already. They didn't tell me who won, so there's that. But there was the giveaway for the Hughes stuff for this card, and you actually got tickets to this card. So if you had jumped in on that before September 24th, congrats, good job. I mean, if you won, especially. But yeah, either way, that was some sick stuff. Courtesy of Podbet, of course. What's Hammy saying? Hammy says, when fighters move up and then move back down, sometimes the chin isn't the same. So the reason that's probably not a problem here is because, like, instead of moving up and then back down, Anderson just, like, took a fight and didn't cut weight. Like, he didn't – it wasn't – because at heavyweight is a little different because, like, he went back down to light heavyweight. It wasn't that he, like, had to cut weight to get to heavyweight. He just, like, walked in at his walking weight. You know what I mean? So that's the only difference. It's like it was almost like he was sparring. I mean, obviously it was like a fight, but like he doesn't cut weight to go spar at the gym. It was the same situation there. He just didn't cut weight. So that's why I think this is different. But I do agree with that sentiment in general. I just think you get a little bit of variance on the heavyweight, light heavyweight thing there. Nate saying, even though he scored the fight for Hughes with a swing round that could have made it a draw, I'm going to Nurmagomedov by decision. Ignorant on, I believe, Usman when he said he underestimated Hall. Fair enough. I think kicking game of Usman was great early in the first fight. Yeah, all those things are true. So for me, I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, I'm on Usman here. I think he's the better fighter between the two, but I think Paul Hughes is good. I think he's darn good. I think Usman's a better fighter. Minus 296, the line makes sense that it's doing that. But yeah, there was a short time where he was the underdog, which is insane. September 26th through, for, let's see, how long? Most of the day, September 26th on Cloudbet, you could have got Usman Nurmagomedov as an underdog. And anybody who got that, I wish I would have seen that. I was not paying attention to it and I missed out. But yeah, that was the line. But no, Usman for me is the side. I think he wins a decision. I'm fairly confident we get a decision. But then again, like I said, I suck at over-unders. But I think we're going to get a decision here. I think both guys are super good, super talented. I just think Usman is the better fighter, more complete fighter overall. I know a lot of people always say, like, they say this and then the fighter comes over to the UFC and then they lose their debut. I don't think that would be the case for Usman. I think you're correct. He would be ranked in the UFC. I think he's darn good. It's kind of one of the things that makes me think that Islam is going to stay up at 170 pounds is because when Usman's contract is up for PFL, I can definitely see him making the jump over to the UFC and getting it done that way. The Nurmagomedov camp is very good at making adjustments and game planning. Yes, absolutely. You are spot on there, Sammy. Absolutely agree. So yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I'm with you there, but I do think Usman is a different kind of guy. Like the dude is 19-0 now? Yeah, 19-0 right now. He's a different level. I think he's going to win this. He beat Paul Hughes last. He beat Shabli, which is a crazy, like Shabli's a dangerous fighter. Like it's not like, I mean, Paul Hughes is a better win, but Shabli is a dangerous fighter, and he beat him. So he's done what he needs to do to get here. I think he's the rightful favorite, and there it is. So that is my take on each of the fights. Let's put together some parlays, shall we? Let's see what we can come up with. Okay. Let's start off with a nice, easy one, like a nice, fairly safe parlay. And the first thing I like is the over in the Zanakov-Mitchell fight. Let's see. So we're gonna put that in at minus 175. All these odds are gonna be brought to you by Cloudbet, of course. Okay, so we're gonna go 5 plus. Let's see. Oh, real quick, I'm gonna respond to Nate. Do you think Cartwright or Pettis is more likely underdog? I think Cartwright, just because I don't think Colin Loughran's all that great. I mean, he could prove me wrong here, and I won't be like surprised. But I'm not sold on Loughran, so I think Cartwright. I think Pettis just is a harder matchup, is what it is. It's not that like I think Pettis is a less likely underdog. I just think I just think he's got a way harder matchup. So I would take Cartwright in between the two. But anyway, so we got the Mitchell and Zanakov over 2.5 as the first leg of it. Let's find another leg, and that already almost gets us where we want to get. Where is somebody that I feel super solid about? I mean, Usman. But do I want to wait until the end of the card to take that? I don't know. Who else do I feel super solid about? Colgan, but I can get a better price on Usman. Corey Anderson. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see. What do we got for? Oh, let's see. Okay, we're thinking out loud. If you guys have some suggestions, you're welcome to throw them out. Can't promise I'll take them, but I will at least look at them. I think what I'm gonna do is take that over, and I think I'm gonna See where it gets us if we put Usman in there at minus 228. And that puts us over. We're just going to do it. We're going to play that. Plus Usman. And this will be the somewhat safer. I mean, it's a parlay. It's not that safe. But it'll get you to plus 126 on CloudBet. Use my link and promo code 138MMA. Don't be silly. But that's what we're going to play for the safer one. And then, folks, I'm going to cook you up the most ridiculous long shot parlay. I hope that Dixon is still in the chat because he likes these just insane parlays. I'm going to cook up a parlay that probably won't hit, but if it does, we change in lives. So if you're going to play it, put $10 or something on it. Don't do anything that you're going to have to, have a bad time if it doesn't hit. But we're going to start things off. We're going to start with Jack Cartwright at plus 276 as our first leg of that. I like that start, so I'm going to type that in there real quick. Cartwright plus. I think we're going to go Pettis at plus 196. That already gets us over plus 1,000. That's sick. Plus, screw it. Let's go Slim at plus 247. There's very little chance this hits, but it's plus 3,762. So what did I say? That was 3,762. And we're going to drop that in the chat. So if you're feeling absolutely like a total degenerate and you think 3 underdogs are coming through, I got you right there with a plus 3,000 parlay. I'm not saying it hits. I'm just saying if it does hit, it's pretty sick. So the way I would play it if I was you is only take a small portion of the profit you're probably going to get on the other parlay and put that towards it, because that's wild. Now, this isn't betting advice. This is not financial advice. This is only for entertainment, especially because I'm not like an expert bettor. Like I do okay. I don't do great. I do okay. But yeah, I think it's a wild parlay, and I think you should go light if you're going to do it. But I do think if it hits, you're going to feel really good about yourself. That's going to be fantastic. So nice little $10 shot or something like that. This is the one that I think hits more likely than not. But yeah, guys, any final thoughts that you have? I'm going to give a quick final thoughts on the card. I think the card is fantastic. I think this card is absolutely going to be fun to watch. I believe it starts a little before noon tomorrow. So I might be watching this just while working, which will be fun. I won't be able to watch the whole card probably. Because normally I can't watch the PFL cards because they take place when I'm I watch them, but I don't watch them until the next day because they take place when I'm doing things like at jiu-jitsu class because they're in the middle of the week and stuff. So there's that. But this card, I'll be working during the time, but I can absolutely just throw this up because I think tomorrow I got to cut down some trees and remove those, and then I've got to mow a lawn. Probably watch this while I'm mowing a lawn. I feel like that's doable. Cutting down the trees might be a little tougher. And then I got to haul some rock. So a lot of outdoor stuff. It's going to be 100 degrees. So that's awesome. But it's going to be 90 degrees. I'm exaggerating. But I think I can watch the fights while doing most of those things. If I can cut down the trees before the card starts, I'm set. So the plan is to try to watch this while I'm working. It won't be the most focused watch, but we're gonna watch it live, and we don't usually get to do that for PFL. So that's fantastic. Nate says, thinks we agreed on every fight. Hey, there we go. Let's get it, brother. So that means I officially flipped you on the Slim fight, which is interesting. But we did agree on pretty much every fight. Lots of fights to like, lots of fun stuff there. But yeah, hopefully we can hit one of these parlays, maybe even both. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, one more time, I'm gonna drop the link one last time. Oh, just kidding. I accidentally dropped something else. I forgot I had something else copied. We're gonna drop the link one more time. Actually, we'll put it on screen. How about that? CloudBet, check it out. /13MMA, easy enough. And use my promo code 13MMA. Real quick, Nate says, before the panel tonight, you should consider what chances of an KO are. Alex Ladders. Yeah, I'm staying so far away from the main event, brother. I'm staying so far away from the main event. Like, I'm the type of guy that, like, especially for UFC, I don't like betting on the main event because you're almost always betting against one of the best fighters on the card, and even if they're not the better fighter, overall, they can still win just about any. Like, either of them could win on any given night because they're both that darn good. So for me, I'm probably staying way away from that one. I did give a pick for the card. Tune into the panel tonight if you want more. Also on the panel tonight, I'll give my pick on the new Gaultier fight. So I'm sure you guys are chomping at the bit to see who I'm picking there. But either way, tune into that. Again, thanks to Cloudbet. They are fantastic folks over there. Sign up, get all the awesome stuff. Their props are fantastic. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys here in like 2 hours for the panel. So with that, catch you guys down the road. Oh, real quick. Yeah, the panel's on Couch Warriors channel. Couch Warrior. Let's see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Couch Warrior on YouTube. I'm gonna pull that up right here. Couch is getting free shout outs. Look at that. Look at that. I love Couch. He's a great guy. Fantastic human. Here we go. There. That's the Couch Warriors channel. So see me there in 2 hours. We're talking UFC. We already talked PFL here. It was good. Cloudbet's fantastic. I'll see you guys over on Couch Warriors channel for the panel. I look forward to seeing you over there, Nate. Look forward to seeing you over there as well, Jorge. Let's throw this back up real quick. Okay. Peace, guys. Later.